Hello, everyone. Welcome back to my channel, and I hope you are doing amazing. I know um, coronavirus has become pandemic, and uh, all we can do is to take precaution, follow a good lifestyle, um, be hygienic, and avoid spreading the virus further. So take care, all of you, and so today, the topic that I would like to deep dive is, um, in fact, it's an assertion that I'm making, and that is be open to receiving to be a meaningful and impactful giver. And I say this because I was not open to receiving for quite a long time in my life. And the reason is, it wasn't arrogance, or it wasn't, uh, that I was not willing to, but my definition of receiving was distorted. And when I say distorted, it means it wasn't serving me powerfully. So, how I saw receiving was, and probably even you can relate to it if you can, and if you think that resonates with you. So I saw receiving as something, as if, like, I didn't know how to solve my problems, my issues, my challenges, and receiving was something like just giving up. Receiving was something like saying no to myself, saying no to my ability to try, ability to, keep going, and sort of giving up. So that is the definition which I had. Receiving also had a very, I would say, not a great metaphor that I related to. Receiving to me was more of like advice giving, which if I didn't want to, I mean, it was like more of advices coming from all around. Receiving for me was like, let's say somebody has given something to me and I didn't want it. Now, what do I do? I, as a person who doesn't want to hurt someone, I would keep it. Then my plate would be full, and I then don't know what to decide and prioritize. Like, what should I keep? What should I not keep? So there are many blockages which are there, and distortion that happened with receiving, and as a result of which, I picked up an explanation and gave a definition, and then kept on and on and on, and that became the foundation for me being closed to receiving, or being very, very judgmental about receiving, or being very, very choosy about what to receive and what to take. So, and the judgment came from self as well. So, what I would like to pinpoint here is that you may want to look at your definition of receiving. How do you see it? Because as givers, if you are happy giving, if you find joy in giving, if you really like giving, but if there is resistance in receiving, then that could be a good place to start to see what is your definition of receiving. How do you see receiving? What associations do you have about receiving? What are the memories that you have about receiving? And always remember, our resistances towards anything could be a great opportunity to grow. If we can uncover that resistance and dive deep into that, it could be a great opportunity for us to grow and to reach to our next level, right? So now the kind of definition that I would put forward in terms of receiving, and I'm sure that if you want to be an impactful and a powerful giver, then this sort of perception around receiving would really, really help. Receiving could be, anything. It's not that just for, it can be smallest of the smallest thing. It doesn't have to be like, asking someone that they can't give, but it could be simple as that. Being open to understanding the other person, that could be a way of you receiving without raising the red flags, without raising the judgments, without being defensive. That is also a form of receiving, right? Let's say, for example, you are used to a particular way of looking at things, or you're used to a particular way of doing things. Now, somebody comes up with a absolutely different point of view, and it contradicts you, and there is like something gets triggered inside of you, and then let's say your walls are coming up and there's a lot of resistance, and you try to defend your point of view and not understand. That could be resistance. That could be your unwillingness to receive the point of view of the person. Because if you're open to receiving, you will first, instead of defending, which comes from a space of fear of not being good enough, which I always had it, fear of not being good enough, fear of not being worthy, fear of not knowing everything, fear of looking like a stupid, fear of looking like a dumb. So all these defenses come up. So that could be a good place to see that receiving could be one way, where you just open up to understanding the person and being open to receiving whatever the person has to say. I am working on that still, I find, but the best part is that I get aware whenever I'm doing that, and then I lean back and open my arms to receiving. Like many a times there are certain postures you will see, like, if a person, like closes the arms and puts it this is also an unconscious way of blocking oneself, protecting oneself, and not opening up to receiving. So there could be n number of ways. Again, let's say you are giving something to someone and you think that that is a great thing and you love it and you feel that the other person would love that. But when you are not open to receiving and understanding the other person, then your gift or whatever you're giving would be nothing more than a junk to the person. And so all your efforts, all your things that you're giving would be nothing more than an obligation for a person to keep it without having any impact on the person. So what if you are open to asking the person, like, what do you want, and what can I do for you, or can I share a reflection, or can I share something that I see? And if the person says no, then it would be good to respect that and not give what you have to give. So that could also be a form of receiving. Many a times, in social medias, we share so many things, like starting from coronavirus to the updates to the knowledge that we received. We acquired everything, we have an urge to give. I do as well. And that's the reason why I have opened up this channel. But then we have to be mindful about what we are giving. So again, how we can receive is, if we are aware, if we open us to listening to the, voice not only inside us, listening to the voice outside us, listening to newer perspectives, listening to newer ideas, listening to things that is happening out there in the world, then what's going to happen is whatever you give would be more meaningful, more valuable, and more powerful. Otherwise, it will be just like a giving and giving and giving, and it would be no more than junk, right? So I definitely would invite you to reflect on your definition of receiving and how you can open yourself up to receiving more in your life, so that you can be more meaningful, impactful, and powerful giver. Because When that tiny shift of, even the posture change of, opening the arms could be a great way to receive messages from the universe, to receive messages which we forget to hear, to receive messages from our inner voice, which we very often don't pay heed to receive messages from, ideas that we resist to receive, uh, it could also open doors to receiving new work, like new projects, because many times, because of our perspective, we sort of close that door, right? So, what if you do that? And how your life, your world will change? I would definitely love to know. I can say this because my world have definitely changed. My world has definitely improved as I opened my arms to receiving, and as I changed my definition of being a giver and a receiver. With that, I wish you a very happy week ahead. Stay safe, take care, and until next, bye bye. Love you.